Hey everybody, Dave and Jamieleigh Womach here from BirdTricks, and as you can see, today we're going to be talking about all the different backpacks on the market and which one's our favorite.
Let's do this! Any guesses which one's our favorite?
That was a lot more enthusiasm than I expected.
You know, I bring in it for both of us. So throughout the years, we have used every backpack I feel like that is on the market. Every time we have our free flight trips, our clients show up with a new cute backpack and I'm like, oh, I gotta try that one because I hate X, Y, and Z about the one I'm currently using. So then I try that one and then we figure out why that one sucks. And it's just been this prolonged thing. So when Ibiaya contacted us and was like, hey, do you wanna design your own backpack?
Yes. Felt like we had the experience necessary to say like, yeah, here's what we liked, here's what we hated, and the one that we don't have in this is actually looks the coolest from what was available at the time, and it was that bubble back.
So cute.
But the problem was, it was a solar oven.
Yeah.
So we'd go on a hike and our poor birds would just start getting really warm. And so we knew that that wasn't the right solution. And
also,
so we dug for the right one.
The perch.
The perch was terrible.
Always flopped down. The birds ended up getting their feet in a mess of their feces. It was just gross, impossible to keep clean.
Yep.
It was nice that the tray was removable to clean, but everything was a mess. And because it was clear on the outside, you saw how gross it got real quick.
So we took the best of the worst and we put it all together to make kind of what we think is the ultimate travel backpack. So that of course is the one here front and center, but I want to talk a little bit about probably one of the ones that I know you hated the most is when you get the water set, you get the food set, and then you pick this one up. I'm just gonna put it sideways so everybody sees. You pick it up and you dump it all.
Can you believe that?
And not to bash on this company at all, because I think that they really did a good job at kind of like setting the path for what the new standard should be.
And quality is awesome.
Yes. However, there was a few oversights like that one. That's a big problem, because now your bird's bowls, like no joke, they're at a 45-degree angle here. So not only did you knock your bird off the perch, but now it's swimming in the bath that you just gave it because you dumped all of its water.
Yeah, we gotta be real here. We don't just use a backpack on our back. We also like lift it up and put it places, set it down. We take ours to the vet with us. We take them on free flight trips. We take them in the car. We take them from point A to point B, just taking them from an aviary. Dave is like has a new rule with Cressy. She always has to be in a pack. If I take her from the house even to the studio,
how'd that rule come about?
8 feet, because maybe one of our birds flew off one time. So anyways, we use these really in a variety of ways.
We
and
use them
it's really
regularly.
Versatile, so it has to be versatile. So this is the best.
That's the one. And check it out. It doesn't, like the side view, you pick it up, oh, perfectly balanced, doesn't fall forward. The bowl of food and water is still there.
The bird's still on the perch.
The bird's still happy. So that was the first thing. Also, I really, as a dude, didn't want to be walking around with this. So I made the colors more neutral because I just like, I don't know. I would never buy a regular backpack this bright unless I was riding my bike and didn't want people to see me. Like, I didn't want them to hit me. I wanted to make sure that I was visible to
So
everybody.
opposite of what you said.
Yeah, opposite of what I said, exactly. But I wanted the more neutral colors, and so I think that we hit a home run with the color because you can wear it as a woman, you can wear it as a dude, and not feel
any type of way. You
Hawaiian.
Just feel good. Hawaiian.
That one's pretty Hawaii-ish.
This one is a lot. So it took some convincing. We got this from a client, and I didn't think this was actually a case for a bird to go into. I was like, no, that's just like a piece of luggage. And Dave's like, no, it's not. It actually has a spot for a perch. And I just thought, no way. For real? So
I actually do like that one, but if you're gonna be carrying something, there's no pockets. If the bird chews on the mesh or the zipper, it's toast.
But also getting your bird inside that, like, okay, so the perch is there, pretend, and I get my bird in. Now I have to be like.
That's so dramatic.
Because otherwise, knowing our birds, they're already working on their way out.
Especially the conures.
And if you drop this at any point or don't get it, like, it would just be super difficult. So,
So, onto that note with the pockets. It's a backpack. It should have pockets. So when we worked with the Jamieleigh designing this, we added some pockets to it. So we have the front pocket, which is great for your phone, your wallet, any accessories, a first aid kit for you or the bird. But we want to have a pocket. It also has on the side a little strip of what's referred to as molly webbing. Now, that's more of like a tactical term, and it's things you can buy online for survival camping or any sort of tactical supply company, be it even on Amazon. You could buy a first aid kit, you could buy a water holder, you could buy anything you want pretty much that can attach to this. And of course, this one comes with a couple of different attachments. You could put a small water bottle in that, a cell phone, a Garmin radio so that you have GPS or radio communication with each other.
You could put a food container. I don't know if you said water bottle already, but.
Or if you're sneaking your bird into a hotel, you can put your iPad into that pocket.
That's what Capri uses this for.
It has a seatbelt spot if you want to secure this into your car.
Which this does not.
And it also goes from look at me mode to I don't want to pay the pet fee mode going to your hotel. That'll go down all the way over there. Obviously not with that pocket the way it is, but even with the pouch on there, it still closes. So you just couldn't have anything in it. But now it doesn't look like I have a bird in a backpack. And so if you're like Jamie and I, we don't really like that added attention. So this is perfect for us in that particular case.
Yeah, I love it. I'm super happy with it.
The next one is, oh, I have to re-pick that way.
Speaking of
what happens if you no longer have Olivia, right? So
it's a sad thought, but it's real, you guys.
Even though, like, I love that they do this. I think that's cool. Some people want it, some people don't want it, but I like that it's an option, and we wanted to be able to include that option for people. But if something happens to the bird and you don't want it to scream, a memory, it's removable.
And you can just swap it with.
So Cressy could be in there, or we'll throw Bondi in today.
Yeah.
Or Lily. So yeah, you can keep it organized, especially if you have multiple backpacks like we do just off camera. You can easily swap those out. You can put it on whatever bird you want, and it's just kind of a neat way to be able to have the bird's name in there without it having to be embroidered for life.
Or like Olivia, because that's how I feel like that one is.
It does scream it.
This is like subtle, which is nice.
Yeah, and I like the earthy tones and that it's leather. And yeah, overall, we're stoked about this.
And the major component that we absolutely love is the fact that our mesh is replaceable. Because what we found through using carriers and backpacks is that the birds had access to the zipper, and once they ruined the zipper, the entire thing was totaled, and I'd have to buy a brand new carrier all over again, which was a total pain in the butt. And so we wanted to make sure that that didn't happen to anybody that bought our backpack, and that in fact, the mesh is not only removable, but replaceable. So if they get to this part and they start chewing on it to the point of destruction, you can just get a new part. You don't have to get a new backpack. Game changer.
It's a total game changer, but it's also difficult to tell from that shot right there, but there's a distance, there's a gap between, and I should say an overlapping gap, that makes it so the bird just can't get to the zipper. So if you're worried about your bird breaking the zipper, that solves that problem.
Yeah, so if you took the mesh out and you only used this part, now they do have a bit of access to the zipper, correct?
Yep.
So you want to use the mesh. However, we have tiny birds and we've worked with tiny handicap birds who are just unable to get to any of this. And so we don't have to use the mesh, but for the most part, you want to use the mesh just to protect your investment of the backpack and making sure that your bird's all good and safe.
You'll notice also there's some D-rings up here. There's one showing right there, and you can attach your toys. This is the Cressy Cruncher from our tiny toy line. And so you can attach toys there, and if you don't want those, you can just tuck those pieces behind the mesh, and they can't just sit there and destroy them.
Yeah, and there's 3 of them, correct? So you can put them on the sides.
The other one's right here, and the same on the other side.
Yeah, so you don't have to have it in the center, but this shows it best for you guys to see that there's toys here. And our tiny toys seem to fit in this so amazingly. I love the size for the backpack and stuff. So it gives your bird something else to do other than try to destroy the backpack if that's what your bird is into.
Yeah, and all these panels are replaceable. So when you assemble it, you can replace any piece of the mesh that gets destroyed, unlike the other backpacks. And so like I said, nothing against some of the other companies. They've really set the way for giving us ideas that we could just take to the next level, which we believe we did with this particular product. So if the bird's chewing on it, that's replaceable. We also have, if you notice in here, we have a little cup, little stainless steel.
And it's up high. What do you know?
It's at the right height for your bird to be able to eat or drink. So, and this will fit from an Amazon on down. So it is large enough to be able to fit most of those kind of, I would say, medium-sized birds very comfortably.
Yeah, we kind of say tiny, small, and medium, but I wouldn't go anything above that.
Yeah, and when we were designing this, we specifically wanted it to be large enough to hold those birds, but not so big that it was clunky to carry. In fact, I'm gonna show you one of the prototypes right now.
Yeah, so when we originally started this, we had a much bigger backpack, and what we found was it still fit the same size birds, but in a clunky sort of size, and nobody ever wanted to wear the backpack because it was this huge undertaking to put it on.
Yeah, it's big, and you don't gain anything by the original size. So we kind of said, okay, what's the optimal size for the bird that you could fit in that? And we came up with this, so.
I was trying to compare them and have them look identical by putting the side up, but Christopher, Chrissy's talking in the background.
I don't think they can hear that.
Oh man, that was so cute. So anyways, we love the size. We feel like you can still fit the same birds. Now keep in mind, common sense with this, you guys. So it does have plenty of airflow, especially when you start lifting up these sides and the fronts and all of that. Even the back has this mesh and stuff that goes through. So it has plenty of airflow, can keep your bird's temperature. So we've had this in pretty much all temps and been totally good. But this isn't meant for like long-term, this is my new housing 100% for my bird. This is for transport only. So one of the questions that I had gotten on social media was like, well, what if it gets too hot? And it's like, well, where are you? Did you just leave your bird out in the sun somewhere? Like, you know, use some common sense when you're using this. This is for transportation. So like I said in the very beginning, getting your bird to and from an aviary, going on a road trip, what have you. So again, we do have that seatbelt strap in the back.
And we've had these hiking up in the desert to go fly birds. We've had them traveling to the vet. We've had them anywhere from Florida to Washington State and everywhere in between. And it's really, we feel like it's our solution to, you know, kind of the next phase in the evolution of birdie backpacks. So.
Yeah, and I find, and the thing that I think I love so much is like what you were talking about earlier, where all three of us, between Dave, myself, and Capri, we always want to wear the backpack. It's an easy thing to be like, oh, we're gonna put that bird in the backpack and I can take it up. It feels like nothing on your back, which is so nice because I see these clunky backpacks and people trying to finagle all these things, and it's just like, oh, that looks awkward. So I'm so happy to finally have this solution, and I can't wait for all of you to have this backpack.
So they are available now, and we will leave links for you guys to be able to click there and purchase these. We can always check out birdtricks.com for more information on it, but
and you can get them directly from our website, so go get them.
We love it, and we know that you guys will too. So.
Yeah, tag us in all the pictures.
All the pictures. We want to see the adventures you guys are on.
Yeah, and definitely share which birds you have in the backpack, because I think that'll help other parrot owners know if this is the right size for their bird.